let me down. It's really followed through. But before I get into that, I will introduce you to my co-host, Lord of Toxicity. How you doing, man?
Hello, fellow penguin watchers. How are we?
Oh man, and hello, Nix, and thanks for joining us. And hoping we can have a couple more people join us later if possible. But if not, fuck it, why not? But yeah, this has been a really good fucking final, and it's quickly become my favourite show of the year, maybe of this decade so far.
Oh, wow, that's a bold statement.
Well, yeah, I know it's bold, but with all the shit we've seen, I mean, it's not let me down so far, and I'm really hoping they don't do a second series because it's because I think they would really drop the ball with this one. But before we get into our thoughts and our favourite moments, our favourite lines, favourite characters, whatever, I will go through the synopsis. So I will gather my notes up to go through the damn thing. So continuing where the last one left off, it begins with Fran through the machine that Rush has put her through, reliving the memory of Rex Calabrese visiting Francine, offering to help her with the funeral. And it's revealed that she always knew that Oz left his brothers to drown. Rex gives her two choices: either he takes Oz in, as his psychopathic tendencies could be useful, or have him killed. And we see that Francine was actually open to choose the second option. She gets dressed, takes Oz to Monroe's. Oz spots Rex, and Fran tells him he's going to take him home. He's going to give him a ride home, which we all know what that entails. But Oz says that he understands how much she misses Jack and Benny, and Fran gives him this what the fuck look. And Fran sees Russian Sophia. Oh, sorry. She sees Russian Sophia at the table. She almost snaps back to reality before regaining her focus. Oz tells his ma he has ambitions and that he'll take care of her. And in a way, Oz has pretty much convinced her not to have him whacked. We cut to Victor taking the rival gangs to the area where that has been decimated. He tries to persuade them to help Oz, but they think, fuck this guy, he's no use to us, why should we? Link tells them to be careful, he's because Vic is really giving these gang members a whole lot of shit for their disloyalty, and Link pretty much warns him to be careful. Victor tries to get to the scene, and Zico, who has survived the blast, runs into Vic to tell him Sophia has him. Fran wakes up to Oz, who is now held hostage by Sophia and Rush, and Sophia talks about this little story about finding a nest with two baby bears, and that the mama bear fed the bigger bear more food, leading to the smaller bear to kill its brother, and the mama bear just didn't seem to notice the difference. It's also something Sophia uses to push Oz to confess to what he did to his brothers. Oz denies it. Sophia tells Oz that Fran was going to have Rex kill Oz and pushes Fran to confess. Fran refuses, so Sophia orders Rush to cut off her fingers if he doesn't confess his crime. Fran even admits that she knew. Oz still tries to deny it, leading Fran to confess how much she hated him for what happened to his brothers. And she later stabs him with a broken bottle. She then sees Oz as a child again, as well as Jackie and Benny soaking, thinking that they've made it out of the sewer. She starts to convulse before collapsing. Oz grabs a gun from one of Sophia's guns before shooting his way out and escaping with Fran. He takes her to the hospital and then looks for a place to patch up. And Vic, driving around trying to get in touch with Oz, meets him in the hospital where he lies saying it was Sophia that stabbed him. He apologises for the gang deserting them, but Link might be the only one who could help. Sophia gets the rival gangs to meet up at her father's home and says she's willing to give everything to whoever brings her Oz's head. Oz heads to City Hall where he offers Council Pliers Nostrils to that he will hand Sophia for hair on a plate for the Falcone and Maroni killings and the Bliss dealings, which could gain Councilman public favour and keep his career going, even taking him to the top, but only if Oz benefits from it too. Councilman tells Oz that Riol is forming an anti-corruption organisation which could land them in hot water, and that Oz needs to redo his image. Later he sees Councilman with Riol. Then he leaves City Hall and bumps into Link and his gang who want to take him for a ride. Sophia gets a call from Link who tells her that Sorry, let me get my notes. Sorry about that. Gets a call from Luke that tells her that they have Oz and Sophia. Sorry, my screen went black for a minute. I do apologise. It's back on now. So I need to keep moving the mouse. But they take him to the airport, and Sophia bends her father's house to the ground and smiles as her father's legacies turn to ashes. She meets up with Zhao, who's holding the penguin, only to notice Oz smiling. But before she can warn Zhao, Link blows Zhao's brains out. And Vic shows up. Oz now has the upper hand. Oz takes a defeated Sophia for a drive and reveals he convinced the lower members of the rival gangs to betray her bosses. He berates her on not knowing what it's like to be an underdog. Sophia calls out his delusion. Oz stops somewhere quiet, like I think the Gotham River. The Gotham River, I do apologise. And it looks like Sophia is going to get waxed, but then lights flash, police and helicopters surround her, and she is arrested. Oz, with Vic, enter the hospital to tell Fran the good news. But Francis is unresponsive. Francine is unresponsive. I do apologise. The nurse tells him she suffered a stroke and is in a vegetative state. Oz tries to reach her, but it's no use, leading to Oz to break down with Vic consoling him. Oz and Vic sit in the park, and once again, Oz lies about how he did it for her. Vic shows his admiration for Vic and what he did. Vic tells Oz he's like family. Oz tells Vic family is a strength, but also a weakness before killing him. He robs him and throws his driver's license in the river. Some time has passed. We cut to Arkham, where Rush delivers a letter to Sophia. It turns out to be from Selina Kyle. Sophia reads it, and even though she finds out that Selina Kyle is also a half sister. She continues to read and smiles. We now see Oz with another purple car as he ends up in a fancy penthouse, dressed in his top hat and tuxedo, like in the comics. He goes to a room where his mom is looking over the city, still a vegetable, but we see a tear running down her face, hinting that she's still aware of her surroundings. Oz leaves to enter another room where Eve is dressed up exactly like his fucking mom. They dance. He asks her if she's proud of him, and it's gross. It's gross. But then the camera pans out to Gotham City where the bat signal shines. The end. And I'm seeing a lot in the comments about the mixed reactions on the episode, but I still think it delivered. It did have its problems, and I will get to some of its problems. But before I get to you, Toxic, I'll give some thoughts on this. I don't think it's been a letdown. I think we see more and more what a total hypocritical, lying, delusional psychopath the Penguin really is. And that the tragedy Fran has had to live for, knowing what kind of a monster he is. And I will admit, all that animosity, that hate she's been pushing down, just comes spilling out, and you can see she's reached some kind of catharsis after stabbing him. And the fact that Oz doesn't even confess to prevent his mum's finger getting cut off kind of makes me wonder: did he really love it, or is he really so delusional that he actually believes his own bullshit? I'm actually, I want to hear your thoughts on that. Did he actually believe his bullshit, Toxic?
I think he spent a long time, ever since he was a child, convincing himself of the lies that he wanted to believe. I think if you tell yourself something so long, the delusion takes hold, and I think that was just very important to him. You notice that in the aftermath of it, when he's patching up his wounds and he's talking, he doesn't even hesitate. There's no hesitation in his voice or his mind or the way that he talks to Vic to just say, yeah, Sophia stabbed me. And they got my ma, and my ma's all messed up. Nothing like comes pouring out. Any rational human being, after something like that traumatic, and their best confidant comes in, they spill at least a little bit of it, or at least have a different reaction. And his only reaction was, yeah, we got to get back to business because I promised my ma I'd take over the city.
Yeah, no, because he seems to be saying that he's doing it for her, but I think it's kind of like Walter White. He says he does it for the family, but then he reveals, no, I did it for me, and I liked it. I was good at it.
Yeah.
And I think this is the same thing here. And I do like Deirdre O'Connell here. She fucking almost she almost steals a show from Sophia. I almost think she outdoes Sophia this time on this one. She when it comes to acting, because dude, you really just feel the fucking tragedy she's had to live through all those fucking years, knowing this thing and having to live with it. It's just man. And the fact that she was really willing to have her son killed, but then somehow Oz just sort of whammed his way into her sympathies.
Yeah, I like that Oz showing at a young age. Yes, he already had that superpower to talk his way out of trouble.
I know, God, man. I think he's a psychopath. Correct me if I'm wrong on because I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist, but I think he's a fucking psychopath.
I agree. I think he is.
Yeah.
I don't see any other way you could see it.
I know, because it looks like he is willing to fuck everyone over just for himself, even though he's kind of telling him he's doing it for his own person. And he seems to, he sees himself as some kind of underdog. And yeah, he kind of is in a way, but at the same time, he sees himself as some kind of victim that he has to overcome everything. But no, he's just a downright fucking backstabbing asshole who's used people.
He's a total scumbag.
Oh, yeah, but fucking Colin Farrell plays it well. He so does. He sells it. He sells every scene he's in.
Speaking of Colin Farrell, he did warn us in an earlier interview after a couple episodes into the thing that he was like, I don't think people are going to like me by the season finale. And boy, he was right.
I think you might have mentioned that before, but I missed it, and I'm kind of.
But I don't want to step on your narrative because I know you got more to talk about. So go for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I need to put fucking spoilers. Yeah, we're gonna spoil because I think it's been a few days now. So if you haven't seen this episode yet, do turn this off and watch it, and come back to us later on the rewatch. But yeah, Jamal Lama, thanks for joining us as well. I like the fact they don't sugarcoat it, they don't justify his actions, and Sophia's kind of she's a bit of an enigma here as well, because she's sort of offering her father's legacy to everyone, but at the same time she's burning the house down. Is she trying to fuck these guys over a little bit, or will they still get some kind of reward, some kind of for helping her out?
I think she was kind of pulling a burn, no, pun intended. I don't think she had any intention of following through with the deal. Why would she?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, because once again, she's really fucking selling it. I mean, I think that was a little bit ridiculous when she's throwing all the fucking vodka around and she manages not to catch herself on fucking fire after.
Well, it was done for a reason. It's a girl boss moment that you can have the chicks that watch the show be like, that's my girl. She can have her little TikTok clips of her, and like, oh yeah, that's it. She's just burning down the patriarchy. Yeah, go girl. Like, I mean, I've seen a million of those YouTube reels, and it's either dudes thirsting after her or chicks that just want to be her. It's like when Beth Dutton came to, be pretty famous on Yellowstone. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's so me. I'm so Beth Dutton."
Yeah, I mean, I will say they have kind of earned it this time, though. They have built this up. I mean, they have given some context into how she is, what she wanted to do. But what's that? Sophia wanted to run. She got caught because she turned stupid quick, and the final scene to be the sister of. Yeah, no, I'm a little bit mixed on that.
I mean, it was already established in the Batman movie. It was already established.
Yeah, no, I don't know if it's going to lead to something though. Will it lead to something in the sequel? I hope it does. I mean,
they'd be stupid not to involve her in the sequel now, as popular as she's become.
Yeah, she's got to. I don't know if she's going to be a big player or she'll probably show up at the end. She'll probably break out at the end. I'm guessing that'll happen because I think they were trying to have Clayface and Mr. Freeze in the sequel, but I don't know. It seems a bit weird having those two in a Batman that's really fucking grounded in reality. I mean, even more in reality than the Christopher Nolan ones. It's but once again, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoy seeing Penguin having Ace up his sleeve when he's at the lowest ends of his wits. It's and I do like Vic as well. He really has come into play. He's really. I like the fact he was standing up to these other gangs who were willing to fucking desert him after all he's been through. But It really does not fucking end well for him, though. And yeah, it made me hate fucking Oswald even more. After all the shit Vic has done for him as well, it's like, yeah, come on, yeah, it's. But I think that's the whole point, though. This is about a villain's rise, and we have to hate this guy.
Well, I think it was done in such a way that it we got to feel what it's like to be betrayed by Oz, like everybody else has.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like it's a thing that watching the show is one thing, but then to be betrayed by him, to feel what it's like, so that we don't sympathize with him, it is quite another. And yeah, it was well done, because I felt betrayed by him. I mean, I told you at the very beginning when we first started doing this that the Vic character, I don't want to see the the mumble, stuttering, sort of ineffectual kid, and I was like, he better change and he better become something, and he did. And then Oz took him away from us for no really good reason.
Yeah, no, because he kind of mentions you're like family, and there's like it's like a show of strength, but it's also a weakness. I can't have it, and it's like, I mean, fucking hell, man, it's like he has no family left. His mum's like a fucking vegetable now, and he's pretty much the only guy he can trust. I mean, Vic has been pretty much fucking loyal, but was there a part of him that worried that Vic might get too wise to him one day, because he has seen how much he's adapted and even got people to help him when no one else did? It's
I mean, it's certainly, you could argue that was some of the motivation behind that, but I think ultimately the main motivation was just the fact that he was a weakness in something. I mean, look how much they used his mom against him in these episodes. So it was just a situation where he didn't want to have any other weaknesses.
yeah. So yeah, what they could fucking get use Vic to get at him. So I thought might as well put him out of his fucking misery in his own thick way of justifying it. If
I mean, he certainly could have given the kid some money and said, "Here, go to Costa Rica," or something like that. He didn't need to do what he did. But I mean, he's a sociopathic, psychopathic, narcissist, betrayer. So I mean, he does what it is that he's capable of doing. And I mean, again, it was designed that way for a reason. Like I say, he was designed that way so that we would hate him, so he would become this villain that we despise, that we're happy to see Pattinson Batman punch right in the face.
Yeah, because he has already shown to be a two-faced fucking bastard who's willing to throw away anyone that shows him any love if it means him getting the better end of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did it to Sophie. He was a two-faced bastard around the Maronis in the past. He was a two-faced bastard around the Falcones. Everything he's a compulsive liar as well. He's like he's delusional. He's and in the end, he's still a fucking mama's boy, really, in a way, isn't he? He is still that clingy kid. I mean, you kind of see him turn into that once he breaks down when he's trying to get his mum to reach out. He's begging his mum to react and wake up, say something while she's in a vegetative state.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably headcanon that the reason he's doing that is because he knows that he's so close to victory that he wants mom to be alive and comprehending, so that she can understand what it is that he's won. Not so much that he's actually like really concerned for her. Although I'm sure that's a part of it.
Yeah, he wants the approval, doesn't he? He wants, and the only person that can give him that approval is his mum. He's the only one who wants approval from.
Because at the end of the day, if all of the things that he did were diabolical, and they certainly were, one way to be okay with it, to be able to live with yourself, is to say, well, I did it for these reasons. I had these goals, and these were worthy goals for me to have. When in fact, I mean, we know that they weren't. And that's possibly another reason why he had to get rid of Vic, is because Vic probably, like I said earlier when we first started doing this, there would come a time when Vic wouldn't, Vic's loyalty and dedication, he wouldn't do certain things that Oz would, and Oz has, So he had to go. I mean, it's horrible, but again, it serves a very specific purpose to make us hate this protagonist that we more often than not we've sided with. Kind of forget who he is a little bit.
Yeah, once again, he's like Lou Bloom. He's like this total, really unlikable guy, but you can't help but be fascinated by him. You kind of interested to see how he adapts to his situation, how he works, how he reacts around people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very disturbing. And once again, the writing is on top, and I think it might be Lauren DeFranco's the head honcho of the writers, because nearly every episode I've been seeing, she's been on it, and I think if that's her, that's the reason behind all the best moments in these episodes, even the weak ones. Top marks to her, because she seems to know how to write fucking male characters. She knows how to write female characters as well. And once again, there's no wokeness in it.
I got some slides below if you want to click on it.
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah. Okay, all right, yeah. Well, are you working it?
No, you work it, but I want you. It's your show. You do what you want.
All right, then. And yeah, it's this is such a great scene, and I love the flashback as well. And it's not even a flashback; it's just her being talked to by Dr. Rush on that sort of like memory machine, anyway. And
yeah, I'd been curious to kind of. I think if I have any complaints about the show, and I'll get into it when I say my complaints, I think I would probably wonder, how was he accomplishing that? Was he like role playing as Oz in that and speaking to her and putting her back in that moment, or just like as like a passive observer, just like watching it unfold? I'm just kind of curious how that was working.
I don't think he was inside of it. I think he was just asking her the questions, and she was seeing the memories as if it was right there in front of her. But then a little bit of a consciousness came through, and that's when we saw Sophia and Russ. That's how I interpreted it, anyway.
I mean, it could be anything.
But yeah, because we kind of see the machine on the wall in one of the previous episodes with Sophia. It's just like this red light that goes left and right on the wall. So, but I don't know. But then again, did he have a little mini one he brings around with him that he put on her head? I don't know. It's weird. I think I do understand your question in there, but there are still some weak moments. I think right on the moment where Sophia is by the Gotham River and it looks like Penguin's about to shoot her before the police show up, he just disappears real quickly. I mean, it's like he's just there and he's gone. And this is a guy that walks with a really bad fucking limp. He can barely run.
Definitely. His plot armor, as I said on Nadia's stream the other night, his plot armor is ferocious. Like he is just like, earlier when he escapes, he's like, come on, Ma, and he like picks her up and throws this dead weight over his shoulder, and she ain't a small little frail thing. She's a big woman, and he just goes hauling ass.
Yeah, he's limping, and he's got a fucking bad stab wound as well in the gut.
Yeah. Does a dead shot on the dirty cop. I mean, right in the eye, which is a cool, little nod to the fact that the guy's putting the drops in his eye, and then he gets shot right in the eye.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But I mean, all of a sudden, Oz turns into Jason Bourne, which is, kind of interesting.
Yeah. I was wondering that as well. And he can probably argue a bit of adrenaline, but it's still kind of, it still kind of took me out of it a little bit, especially in a hospital where he doesn't seem to be bleeding like a stuck pig. He's like he still manages to patch himself up in a room, and not one person walks in while he's patching himself up, apart from Vic.
I mean, I guess you could headcanon that the reason why is because they're dealing with another.
It could be like
disaster right after one had happened just a few months before. So maybe who knows? Oh, excuse me.
But once again, it's still a very good episode. It's a very good final, and I'm real glad to have gone through the last 8 weeks with this.
R.I.P. Vic, man. It hurt me a little bit when he. It hurt me.
Honestly, we all need a fucking Vic on our side. He may have started off naive, but he fucking came through. He came through every fucking time. He did everything right, and
it really
and
puts
he
that
paid
one
the price for it.
it really puts that one episode into perspective. The one where he was going to leave, when he was going to go with the girlfriend on the bus. I mean, and he stayed loyal to Oz, and man, it's a worse betrayal than when, you know, in Batman '89 when Joker kills Bob. Bob did nothing wrong. Bob was a good henchman, and you know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think Mystery says, I think Oz loved Vic, actually loved him, and in a moment of actual genuine compassion, killed him to spare them both the inevitable disappointment in the future.
Well, that's
I
an
will
awfully
disagree.
yeah,
I
that's an
disagree.
awfully convenient. That's an awfully convenient viewpoint.
I know, and that's a really extreme way to fucking spare someone a miserable life in the future. Because he murdered him. He fucking murdered him.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit, Oz, for sure.
Yeah. In my head canon, a jogger came along and gave him CPR. Yeah. I want to believe that Vic just lost a bit of consciousness and didn't die, and Oz didn't hold on long enough to kill him. But nah, I doubt it. He's dead. He's fucking dead. It's. I think it would be very cheap if he returned in series 2, and he was Victor Zsasz in the end.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Oh, Sophia, what is she doing? Is she just sitting there eating peppers? What is she doing there?
She's just fucking. She's just shoving them down there.
She's such a psycho.
Yeah, I really love her as well because she was willing to just fucking get rid of all the things. She didn't care about power in the end because she'd seen what getting power had done to her little cousin, but at the same time, she still had to fucking get one up on Oz. Though Oz was like her Achilles' heel. She couldn't resist. She had to see him pay for what he did.
Yeah, kind of like in Heat, where Macaulay goes back for what's his name?
For Waingro.
Waingro, thank you.
Yeah, it's like I know. I like the guy who played Rex Calabrese as well.
I could have used a little bit more of him in it. You know, kind of. I liked what he did. I liked the whole thing where he was not understanding what Francis was telling him exactly when she pulls out the flashlight and she had pieced it together because he's kind of lost. He doesn't really understand. He's just trying to help out, an old girlfriend, whatever she is to him, feels bad for her. And, he picks, just like a good criminal would, he picks it up really quickly. Like as soon as she explains the situation to him, he looks at it as the most what's the most economical standpoint? Like we could use a kid like this because he's a psycho and he just needs a little direction, or we can just get rid of him, whichever's, and he's like, I'll let you make the call. So.
Yeah, I did as well. And yeah, it's like, because he's not just another cartoon gangster. He does have he does come across as a bit of a human side. And yeah, you can tell there's probably some history between these two as well. And they probably did know each other when they were kids. Who knows? But it's I do like little moments like that sort of like help you come to your own conclusion, especially when it's just two actors acting and they're trying to bring these characters to life. He keeps her alive because he doesn't think she loves. He needs to win her over. And yeah, as soon as I saw in the last episode the way Oz looked at his mum as a kid, I started to see he really loves his mum. It's like it's kind of I don't think he wants to shag her, but he's definitely coming across that way a little bit, especially at the end where Eve is dressed up as his mum.
Yeah, and that's totally gross. Totally gross.
And I was real confused as well. At first I was thinking it was Emily Mead playing the younger version of her, and it was Oz's imagination. But no, then I got a close up. It's like Eve, and fuck me, man. I thought the Penguin was a creepy piece of shit before, but this really got cranked up to 11 in the creepo meter. But at the same time, we know that his mum is still aware of what's happening. She's probably just catatonic, but she's kind of made to suffer as well. She's looking at the city that Oz has finally given her everything, but she can't do anything about it. She can't enjoy it. All she can do is sit there and suffer.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
I know. But once again, it shows even more of an insight into Oz's mind, because he's still the mama's boy. He cannot let her go.
Mhm.
He needs his mama. But yeah, I don't think there's anything more I can add to it. Is there anything more you could add to this before we go on to favourite moments, favourite lines, favourite characters?
I just, I side with you. I'm overall extremely happy with the show. I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. I'm extremely happy with being wrong about the other shoe was going to drop. I know a lot of people were disappointed with the ending, but listen, man, it was always going to go this way, and if it didn't, it wouldn't have been good to the character.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm glad it was a bleak ending. I'm glad it ended up in this kind of fucked up note. It's
yeah,
I think it. I think some shows sometimes need a nihilistic ending.
yeah.
Occasionally, if it suits the show, and this suits the show.
The panel I was on the other night, Nadia's channel, everybody was like just dumping on the. I'm like, did we watch the same show? Like, why are you guys being such crybabies about this? Like, what? How did you think this was going to end? Like, I don't know what it is you guys expected out of this. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but held out hope till the last second when everyone say he's going to die. Yeah, and yeah, Gemma Lamet. I hope that kid lands some good roles from this because he was great. Yeah, he started off a little rusty. He started off a little bit of a novice, but he definitely improved as a character. He really did. The actor really got better as we went along, and I really like this actor. I hope he does. But yeah, I do agree with you, Toxic. I know we've had our fair share of really fucking terrible finals. I've just pretty much fucking given a chance to pay off a lot of stuff that was built up, and it just went fucking nowhere. But this kind of suited. This really did suit it. This was not the case for me. I never felt disappointed. I think it ended on. I think it ended the way it should have done. Just a nice little bleak, a bleak payoff for what has been built up to coincide with the future Batman installment that should be out next year, the year after, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know when that's coming out. I mean, I remember that the first, just to put it into perspective for you, I remember that the first Batman trailer came out in October 2020, and we didn't see Batman until when? 2023? Late 2022?
No, I think it came out in 2021. I think there was a lot of stuff in 2019. I mean, they were showing Robert Pattinson in the Batsuit.
No, it was 2022. It was 2022.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Right. All right. Yeah. It was 2022. Yeah, you're fucking right there. We did see a lot of like promotional material in 21. I think that's why I'm getting mixed up. So
yeah, but yeah, it's slated currently right now to be 2026. So, and they've already got some. They've already got a couple of advertisement things on it, but I mean, it looks like it could possibly. The problem is, it's the fan made stuff is looking so good these days. It's kind of hard to tell what is what. Unfortunately, I don't see just right now. I don't see not Sophia, but Christine Milioti. I don't see her slated to be in it.
Yeah, so I doubt it as well. Once again, there has been talks of series 2, but I don't think I want that. No, I think it's just one series. That's it. Just 8 episodes. I am fine with that. We've got our own closure here. We don't need anything unnecessary being added onto it. I don't. I think it's. Yeah, it's kind of like sometimes our we Brits have like just 1 or 2 series of a shot, and that's it. It's like what Brett says in Community. They give you closure, and that's what we got here. We got a little bit of closure here until the Batman movie comes out in 2026.
That's I mean, tentatively, that's what I have on the internet that I was able to find.
Yeah, well, who knows if unless some delays happen or whatever, I don't know. But who knows? Maybe she could be on it, and they just haven't put a name on Internet Movie Database because they kind of want to keep it a bit more secretive. But we've seen her get a letter from Selena Kyle telling her that Falcone was a dad as well, and you don't really see what else she's reading. You don't know what Selena Kyle is telling Sophia, and it's left a little bit ambiguous.
Zoe Kravitz does have a contract with HBO, so make of that what you will. She has done other shows with HBO before, like Big Little Lies. So I mean, it's certainly possible that they will do a season 2 of Penguin based on the success of this one, and the possible success of the next. But I mean, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about a season after the movie? Because like it's the end of 2024 now, so we got to wait all through 2025, and then I don't know when, maybe summer 2026 to see. And so then we're waiting for that show. So we're gonna wait a couple years for the show. I mean, that doesn't sound very good.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, I don't think I want to see a second season. I will still give it a go, see if the writers still have another few tricks up their sleeves that and hope they do pull it off. But in the meantime, I'm really happy with this series. I'll happily binge this again because it's only 8 episodes. I don't have like 10 seasons of 22 episodes each with this one. It all seems to be nicely wrapped up. The power struggle between Sophia and Oz, it's coming together for one final devastating blow.
So final thoughts.
So yeah, final thoughts. Good final that pretty much wraps everything up in a very nihilistic bow. So final thoughts for you?
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with it. I don't understand the hate that some of the people have thrown at it. I guess people just want happy endings, and sometimes you're just not going to get a happy ending. I definitely feel betrayed by Oz for what he did to Vic, and I think I'm supposed to feel that way. I think it was designed that way for a reason. So yeah. Beyond that, if they did a season 2, I wouldn't be against it. If they're going to incorporate this storyline into the movie, I don't usually like doing homework for movies. I'm not very good about that. I'm not very good. Like, oh, did you watch the last season of X-Files before you saw the X-Files movie? No, I don't. So make it make sense to me without watching the show. Did you watch the end of the, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before you watched Age of Ultron? Nope, I sure didn't. So I hope Age of Ultron makes sense without it.
I've watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You don't really need to watch it to understand what's going on in Age of Ultron. I mean, it is going on round about the same time the Winter Soldier is going on, blah blah blah. But it's like it's just how the agents in S.H.I.E.L.D. react while that situation is going off, and you only see little references, and that's
shameless plug for your MCU series that you're working on. Shameless plug for that. But yeah, I don't mind that I watched this. I'm glad that I was wrong about it. I'm glad HBO can still surprise me. I'm glad they can still put out good quality stuff. My favorite scene, probably the betrayal scene near the end at the hangar, where it kind of looks like Oz has been captured yet again, and then Vic steps up and he comes through yet again. It makes the final scene with him all the more poignant because like you said, he did nothing but come through every single time. So
I know, and that's why we did feel betrayed, because he always did. He did everything for us. He looked up to us. He loved him. He was like he saw him as his father figure after someone he could look up to after the loss of his own father. And I like the fact that Colin Farrell is very aware of what a piece of shit this character is, but he doesn't play him. He doesn't condemn him either. He just plays him. He just tries to play him as human as possible, and that's what every actor should do, no matter how much of a scumbag the character they're playing is. And so we've had the final thoughts. So I will go through the favorite character anyway, and it's kind of got to be Deirdre O'Connor a little bit, because she, even though she's only in half the episode, she really fucking stole it from me, and she's the one I emphasized with. Is that the term? Sympathized more more than others, apart from Vic, of course.
Yeah. I'd go my favorite character, Vic, just because, you know, we got to see such a great character arc. And, you know, there's nothing more poignant than a character arc where at the end of the arc, the person dies. So, like, you know, you have Jax Teller in Sons of Anarchy. He's so different from episode 1, season 1 to the last episode. You know, the character arc of Wesley Wyndham Price in, you know, Buffy and Angel.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah, like, yeah. I'm watching. I'm nearly at the end of Angel as well. And God, Wesley was a character that really fucking really improved on me since even because I did not like his character at first, but God, you see the tragedy he really fucking goes through, especially after losing Fred. But yeah, well, continue.
But yeah, I like seeing those kind of character arcs. I think the kid played it very well. As it was stated in the chat, I'm excited to see what he does next, and I think he's a good actor, and I would like to see more. I'm glad that I was wrong at the outset. It seems like just yesterday we were talking about the very first couple episodes, and I was like, man, this kid better freaking pull his pants up quick. You know, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like just yesterday we were doing this. This last couple months has flown by so fast. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed him in it. I know he was in the Runaways Marvel show. I did not see that, but I might look it up now because it is on my Plex Pass, and just kind of see more of what the kid. And then I mean, I don't want to turn every single episode of this of me gushing about Christine Milioti, but I mean, I just can't say enough good things about her. You know, I thought her little boss babe act near the end was a little over the top, but I mean, I feel like this episode bridged the gap between, they started to stray away from the realistic, gritty nature of the show that we had seen thus far and start getting into comic book world. Do you kind of feel like the same thing, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit, especially when he shows up in his penguin tuxedos, like especially because sometimes stuff exists well in the comics or the animated series. I mean, when I watch the animated series, I can buy a guy in grey tights scaring the shit out of criminals, but if we saw that in live action, it would look ridiculous.
Yeah.
There has been a few little plot holes that do almost take you out the show, but thankfully it hasn't made me stop watching the show altogether. I mean, I think sometimes you got to take the misses with the hits because the hits do outweigh the misses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've done that. Yeah. So we've done favorite character. So favorite moment, I think it's got to be Deirdre just fucking telling Oz that she already knew and that she hated you and she's detested him all these years, and you can really tell she's held it in and see it all finally just go out. I mean, it's God. You can see the relief in her face, and I think that's almost I think that's also the reason why she starts to suffer a stroke because it's so overwhelming.
Something she's held in for so long, and it finally gets out. Instead of catharsis, it's eaten her up. It's almost like maybe she became sick because of holding in this nasty, nasty secret for so long.
I know. Yeah, and once again, there's other great moments as well. I did like what was the fucking scene again? Oz, the Oz favorite moment is also Oz killing Vic because it was such a gut punch, and it's definitely gonna stay with me forever. And yeah, it is. It's like Fred being turned into Ilaria, and because. Yeah, I've just watched it recently, and that fucking nearly defeated me. Especially since her and Wesley finally get together, only for Joss Whedon to fucking get his little notepad and say, "Hey, let's kill off Fred and turn him into something else." It's
if you ever want to do something now that this show's done, and do something where we just highlight specific episodes, I can make some slides up and we can talk about that if you want to. But I don't want to derail the stream.
I'll try and think of something, doing something, but I will be doing Miami Vice. Next Friday on the 22nd.
That's right.
So right. So just top 5 episodes. That way we don't go on there too long, but at the same time, because we might have a few people on. Who knows? I'm trying to get Lance on and RT on, but I doubt I will since the time zones are a bit funny. But
yeah.
So favorite moment then for you?
I think I said it was the first betrayal moment near the airport. where they Sophia thinks she's won, and then the Zhao is teamed up with Vic, and Vic is comes in, and they take out all of her men and kind of give her up. So I think it felt like the one thing that she didn't see coming, like that there was an honest moment of surprise on her face, like she really thought that she had won. So
yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, you have mentioned that. Okay, well, we can always go to favorite line, and it probably might for funny line. I think it will be Zhao going. Do you want to put him in the plane to see if a penguin can really fly? That did make me laugh. That did make me laugh.
That really made me think. That was one of the things that really made me think they're leaning into the comic book aspect of the show and getting away from the gritty realism, because they seem to be like, oh, okay, like we're a comic book show now, So, but yeah, I'll agree. That's probably the best line. It wasn't an episode of lines, really. I
think the best moment. It's not really a line. It was more like a little bit of dialogue, and that was from Deirdre O'Donnell as Francine saying, "I had enough love to give to all of you."
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
It was. So yeah, that little line of dialogue. Anyway, I think that was one that really struck with me. Yeah, Deirdre O'Donnell just fucking killed it in this episode. She's pretty much killed it in the last couple of episodes. Really, she has.
Yeah, she was good. She was really good.
Maybe Oz as well, killing Vic, saying, family is like a strength and it's a weakness, and I can't have it. It's and it's. And you can really feel the grip on Vic's neck as well. I mean, I almost thought I was getting strangled a bit as well, because he really fucking. You can really see. You can hear this, the neck breaking, everything, the pressure being applied to his throat.
Yeah.
So yeah, favorite line.
I'm going to agree with you. The penguin line probably would be. Let's see if the penguin can fly. I actually laughed out loud. It took a lot of the tension out of the scene. Like I was like watching it, like taking notes, and then he said that line, and I kind of was like, okay, cool, I see what you did there. I also liked I also liked the scene where the other henchmen, when Vic is taking the initiative at the explosion site and saying, hey, are you guys all just a bunch of freaking cowards? And he comes up and gut punches them, and then kind of whispers in his ear. He's like, if you get yourself killed by one of these guys, that's not gonna save your friend. Like you gotta be smart about it now. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I like
they had that. I think he lived as well, didn't he? I did not see him
as
get
far
killed.
as I know. Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah, he wasn't one of the ones that got off. Not that I saw.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's only a small character, but I'm kind of sad we didn't see more of him after that. I really am.
Yeah, somebody made a comment in the other stream I did on this show about would it have been better fleshed out with a couple more episodes? And I don't know, maybe just for the ancillary characters could have been fleshed out a little bit more. But I'm fine. I'm fine with what we got. Yeah, I'm fine with what we got.
But yeah. So I know you got to bounce out soon. So yeah, we'll do a final rating. Do you want to do is it 5 out 5 for you, or 9 out of 10 for you, whatever?
I like the 1 out of 10. I definitely give it a solid 9. There weren't as many quippy dialogue lines and stuff like that, and it wasn't the best season finale of a show I've ever seen, but it was very satisfying to me. So I give it a solid 9 out of 10. As from start to finish, everybody that's been in this show has been firing on all cylinders. My only complaint, if there is a complaint, is that some of the people that I wanted to see more of, I did not get to see more of. So, I mean, and that's not a bad thing. That's it. If it's a thing where, you want to see more of the side characters, I kind of feel like, oh boy, Nix, geez. I kind of feel like they really underused the Dr. Rush thing. Like I'm seeing some internet chatter that Dr. Rush might not be real, but I don't see how that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So, I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know about all that.
I'll have to rewatch the series again just to confirm that theory, because I've not really seen him interact with anyone else recently. I can't remember it anyway.
Well, who was putting Francis's finger in a vice?
Yeah, that's Yeah, that's a good point. So
And
yeah,
who
he
was
probably is real. He is real.
who was being tied to the chair and banging Sophia? Oh, was she
It's
in the?
just their
Yeah, she was
fantasy.
just doing that to herself, or I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Maybe a
could
Tyler
use.
Durden thing where she's seen the other person where she's doing it, but she's seen the other personality do it though. I don't know.
Maybe,
I don't know.
maybe, but that doesn't really ring true to me. But I mean, it's possible. But if that is a plot, if that is a plot line, they certainly didn't go anywhere with it. So because the show's over, and I don't think he's going to show up in the movie. I'm not even 100% sure she's going to show up in the movie. So I mean, if that was an idea, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, that's where I leave it off. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad. I don't remember who convinced me to watch this show. It might have been you. It might have been Blue Collar. I'm not sure, but I was not planning on watching it at all. And then everybody was gushing about it. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll take a look. And then once I took a look, I was like, oh wow, okay. And then this became our thing for the last 2 months. You know.
Yeah. I was not expecting to do a fucking live stream on this either, to be honest. I thought, give us a go, binge through it, then it turns out it's a weekly thing. So, okay, maybe I can maybe do a little live streaming or keep the content going, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, stuff like that. But yeah, and I probably will give it like maybe a 4 or 5, because, like I said, it's not the best finale ever, but it has delivered and
It's solid.
yeah, it's brought us a really fucking it's brought a pretty satisfying end to a pretty decent series that I was not expecting to like. Wasn't expecting to actually devote my time to or stream to. Never mind streaming it to anyway. So yeah, so I know you got to bounce, so I will end this show now. And if you want to bounce off now, you can do. I'm going to say thank you to our lovely people in chat who've stuck by us, listening to us talk a lot of bollocks about some shitty show that we liked. And yeah, so Nix, thanks for joining us. Common People, Mr. E, Jamalame, and who else? Who else has popped in? Yeah,
Common
so
people.
that's it.
Yeah, common people. Just Nix, Jamalama. Yeah. I just wanted to say really quick, we are going to be doing that Miami Vice thing. I'm going to try super hard to be on there with you, if I can be. And if you guys are not already subscribed to my channel, the guy that I stream Highlander with and do a couple other things with, Dudicus, is making the rounds, and he is going to be doing a rewatch retrospective of The Stand, the 1994 miniseries based on the Stephen King novel. So if you guys are interested in that and listen to me talk about that, I will not be hosting it. It will actually be Dudicus, but I will put a link to his channel on my channel. So yeah, it was Dark Hour's fault. I'm sorry. But yeah, so take a look at that, and I'll have a new Consider the Source out this week. It's going to be a little different because I'm going to be talking about some streaming services movies that you guys might be sleeping on. So it won't be a book to film or a book to series thing. It'll be a just talking about some really, really good stuff that has come out on streaming in the last week or so that if you have a chance to take a look at. So be on the lookout for that. I'll probably have that out tonight. And anything that I'm available for, Northern English Bastard, I'm always available to you. Just hit me up if I can make it. It's always a pleasure. And I want to thank you again for jumping on my Veterans Day stream the other day with me. I do appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure. So,
all right.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, congratulations to Dudicus if he's trying to get his channel going. I think I might have already subbed to him. I don't know if I haven't. I will get around to it. So, yeah, and whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching. And if you wish to further support this channel, then the links will be in the description below. But before I go, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell in order to be notified. And to thank you for Cloudy D, who's become my very first patron on Patreon, and I will put your name in the credits as well to thank you for actually supporting my channel. So right now, that's me done, and I'm off to the pub. Take care, everybody.